Hello, I'm Dave.
I'm Carrie, and we are one adventure at a time. And can you believe we're about ready to start our 4th year of full-time van life? In 4 years' time, we have visited every state in the United States except Alaska and Hawaii. We have explored from the West Coast to the East Coast twice, and even visited our Canadian friends on 2 separate occasions. Total miles driven, 66,000 miles.
So in that amount of time, we've made some changes to our van on the road.
So come check out what we've changed, see what worked and what didn't work, and meet the star of the show once we go inside.
So first off, our van is a Ram ProMaster. We bought it used. It's a 2017 2500. It's 159-inch wheelbase, not the extended, so that makes it about 20 feet long, which we like because that's perfect to fit in most parking spots.
And ferries.
And ferries too. Some of those have limits and restrictions. In the past 3 years, we've been trying to make the garage more efficient. We've been making lots of changes. So just about everything back here is different. Everything we own is back in here. So if we can get a couple extra inches of room, we go for it. So what is the same back here? It's our 2 drawer slides. Now these are 4 feet long, 400-pound slides. The top one has all of Carrie's crafts in it, and then the bottom one contains all of my tools. So I'll go ahead and close these, and I'll start with some of the changes that we've made. So starting with the doors, we rebuilt the panels, and in an effort not to go with a big thick curtain that took a lot of room, we decided to cut little slots in the windows. So if we don't want the window, like we're going to sleep at nighttime and want it to be dark, we can just close that up and then reopen it if we want the sunlight to come back through. So those are working out really well. The other thing that we wanted was just a nice place to hang some stuff on the doors. So we did that. We've got my fishing pole, a bow saw. The other side has an axe. And of course our shoe holder here for all the oddball knick-knack kind of stuff. So looking back here underneath, this is our sealed propane box. And this is something that we built at Home Depot on the road when we shifted from alcohol to propane. And it looks like there's a lot of room back there, but really there's not, because we have a composting toilet that slides out to the front, and this is right next to it. So that's all the room that we have on the middle part of the van here. And then as we shift over, we got a giant container here of dog food for our dog, because the food that we get him is at Tractor Supply, and sometimes it's hard to find the stores.
It comes in 50-pound bags.
Yeah, his food comes in 50-pound bags, so we can get the whole bag in here. It's sealed. No mice or rats are going to get to it. It is a little bit awkward and it takes a lot of room, but I think it's worth it. Initially, we built a box to cover the wheel well, and we made it square because we figured we could build around the square and make storage out of it. But the square that we built, we filled it full of insulation, and we thought it was really smart. It took up so much room. So we got rid of that, build around the wheel well, and that opened up just a whole bunch more room. We got our backpacks back in there. We got our day packs in there, a bunch of our camping and gear. So we really gained a lot by getting rid of that. We have no fresh water or any plumbing or anything back here that we have to worry about getting cold. So not having that extra insulation over the wheel well isn't going to be a big deal for us. Another change I wanted to talk about for the back was we had a bug screen back here, a lot like this one, except for we had it going all the way down. So we had big problems with that. I would shut the door on it and cause it to rip, and it would be hard to access anything here in the back. And there was no reason why we needed the bug screen down here, because the bugs aren't going to make it to the front. So we did add this sideboard here to the mattress. And what that allowed us to do is have a nice attachment point for this new screen. And it has been working awesome. I love this new screen.
And before we had it sewed all the way down the middle where you couldn't open it. And this side we decided not to do that. So it's easier to make the bed. So huge difference that made, right?
Yep.
And not only that, we have another screen.
Yeah, let's check out the one on the slider door. Now this one here was a lot more complicated and took a lot more time. Carrie worked on this one for about 16 hours.
I think I would buy the next one.
But you can buy these. I believe you can buy them on Amazon, and they're pretty much, you just cut them down, maybe a little bit of sewing and you're good. But we have to have these. We don't have an air conditioner in our van. We do tend to follow the good weather. So if it gets hot, we normally get out of there. But you always need a good bug screen because you want to keep your doors open as much as possible. It's one of those things you have to do. You can't cut out of the build. You're going to need your bug screens.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. Before we even step inside, there's a huge change in this area. So before we had a flip-up table that extended our counter, but we didn't take in account that we had no place to put our shoes, no place for our towels, and to get into the ProMaster is sometimes a really high step, and so we needed some grab bar. This area houses a lot of different functions. So here is our grab bar to get in. It's screwed straight into studs, so this is not going anywhere. Behind the towels that hang on the grab bar is a place for all of our shoes. So this is super functional. The shoes are out of the way. We have a place for the towels and a grab bar to get in. In our original build, we were thinking about space, using up every inch that we could. And so our upper cabinets, we had the door come all the way out to the curtain. And what was wrong with that idea was every time we tried to open this drawer, we were fighting these curtains. So to fix that, we cut the door smaller. We left a little gap on this side. And as you can see, we don't fight the curtains anymore.
No more problem there. Yeah.
And the other thing we did wrong with our doors is we didn't leave a gap. So these doors hang down 1/2 inch. So when you go to open them, you have a lip.
So you don't need a handle.
You don't need a handle. I also really like this style. This is just 1/2 inch plywood. You can decorate it any way you want. This is a decal from Amazon that kind of fits the decor right now. Just below the cabinets is our sofa, which we weren't sure if it was the right move to make because it does take a lot of space. We sacrificed a lot of counter space. We sacrificed no oven, no built-in stove for this couch. And I will say I am super happy that we did. I love it. I use it every day. Rudel sleeps on it at night. It's super comfortable. We added the Lagoon table, which has just increased the function where I can sit and edit, or I can spin it around and it goes over to the person in the passenger seat on the swivel. Okay, moving back. So when we initially started, we had an alcohol stove up here. Our thought was we didn't want propane. We wanted to be as safe as possible. And we had read the alcohol stoves were the safest stove out there. Now that may be, I don't know. There's a lot of controversy about our alcohol stove. But every time we used it, the carbon monoxide detector, was that right, Dave? It went off every time we used it. So we made a decision to get rid of the alcohol stove, and we installed propane in the van. And that's one of the big things that Dave showed you in the back is we did a sealed propane tank, and we have just a Coleman 1-burner cooktop up here. We are so happy we did that. We have had no regrets with that decision at all. When we started in Redding, California, we were building the van out. It gets very hot there. We weren't thinking about a heater, so we thought a little buddy heater would be fine, and it was not fine. The little buddy created so much condensation, it ran down the door frame in the front, literally pouring water down the door frame. So we got rid of that and we went to the Wave 6 Olympic heater, which we had right here. If you remember, we had it on a swivel, it came out and we could turn it, and that worked really good, but you still have to vent that heater. So that means when it's really cold outside, you're going to have the back fan open and the front window open, and it'll only keep it so warm.
Yeah, just not that efficient when you have to open your windows.
Exactly. So probably one of the biggest upgrades that we have put in this van is a Webasto heater. And I'm going to take the camera from Dave.
So we installed the Webasto heater underneath the seat here, and it was a pretty easy job. One of the things that made the decision for us to install it is we found out the ProMaster already has a tap in the fuel tank to tap into. So that was like a no-brainer. So we got the fitting for it, snapped it in, ran the fuel lines to the fuel pump, and then back up to the heater. This heater kept us warm in weather as cold as 9 or 10 below zero up in Idaho last year. We are so happy with it. We've noticed that we don't even have to use our curtain covers for the windows as often. It's creating no condensation. Yeah, there's no condensation issues. I can't say enough good things. It's just been awesome.
And since we took the heater out of this area, I decided to make a spice rack. So we have doors that slide. This holds a ton of spices. Each one slides a different way.
I did want to say that we started with our spice rack above our stove where a lot of people put it. We had the magnet ones.
And what happened was when you're cooking, condensation comes up and the little magnetic tins, they rusted shut. And so you couldn't turn them. So spices above where you're cooking is not a good idea for that reason, and the heat kind of doesn't do well with the spices. As you can see, there's a lot more color in here than when we started. These are stick-on tiles from Amazon. And we have them here, up here, and on the spice rack. What I love about the spice rack is you don't really know it's there because it looks like a false wall until you open it. Just a couple of things I want to mention. We had track curtains here, and they were so loud that if you closed the curtain, you would definitely wake the person up. Then we went to these tension rods, and every time you hit a bump, they would rattle, which drove us bonkers. So now our curtains are solid curtain rods, actually shower rods that are bolted in both sides. They make no noise, they're super light, and they work perfect.
So this is probably the most exciting upgrade for me personally, is in the bed here, because we bought the ProMaster because we like to sleep widthwise. And the ProMaster is the widest of the 3 different types that we looked at, but it still wasn't quite wide enough. So we had already built the walls out, and we were thinking about adding a window. So what we did was we had to cut the walls out, frame it, and then, you know, cut a hole out and put the window in here, and that has made a huge difference. We gained 2.5 inches of room on both sides, which I can finally stretch out. I'm a stomach sleeper, so I have room for my arms now and my feet, and has made the biggest difference. I wish we would have just started with this extra window here. And not only do I have the extra room, but during the summer, especially when we want extra airflow, just by opening the window and turning on the front exhaust fan, the ceiling fan, we get a great flow of cool, fresh air all night long, and it has made it so comfortable to be back here. Right there, Rudolph. So these little cut-ins are awesome, and Carrie actually cut the fabric that fits around here, and we have insulation underneath the fabric, and it's Velcroed on there. So we can take these off and wash them at the laundromat and then stick them back on there, or we could even make different colors, however we want to design it differently, but it gives it a nice soft look. We bought this roof rack from AmericanVan.com. I'm really happy with it. It's made out of steel, it's galvanized. Because of the way it's set up, we didn't have to drill any holes through the roof to attach it. It mounts on existing hooks that are already here on the roof. So that made it super easy. Now moving forward, we have our two 100-watt solar panels, and they are attached to angle iron that is attached to the roof rack itself. If I could redo our solar right now, and I still might do it in the future, I would build a pivotal rack or a frame so I could raise up one of the sides and point it right at the sun. Because when we like to hang out in winter where the sun doesn't get as high in the sky, we're not getting very many watts per hour. And if we could just raise it up on a tilt, it would be so much more efficient. And until we can make that adjustment on the roof where we can make it pivot up and go towards the sun, this is our solution. This is our Goal Zero 100-watt portable solar panel. So this normally is up on the roof when we don't need it, and then when we do, we just bring it down, point it at the sun, and plug it in, and it has made a huge difference. So we keep our batteries underneath the couch here, and I can show you it's a little bit cramped. But this is a Goal Zero 1400 lithium power station. So when we're building out the van, there was a lot of things going on. We wanted to keep it simple. So we got this power station. We have been running it straight for 3 years, and it has done its job. It only has 80 amp hours. So if you look at other people's size of their battery bank, you're gonna find a lot more amp hours. We do have to conserve and really watch our usage, but it has worked good. But this is one area that we are hoping to upgrade as it is coming to the end of its life cycle. It only has 500 cycles, and we are over that already. We're already noticing it's not charging up to 100% anymore. So it's a matter of time before we're gonna have to upgrade. The other thing that I wanted to mention was this handle right here that we installed. This thing is awesome. So you don't have to bend down and grab this plastic handle down here. We have an actual metal handle that we put in with screws, and it makes it so easy to pop the door open and to close it. So much better than the handle that's on the door.
Pillows. Everybody loves throw pillows. I love throw pillows, but there just is not room in your van for throw pillows. These two yellow pillows have our backpacking sleeping bags in them. So you still get your throw pillows, but they're usable. This pillow here has our winter ski gear in it. So if you're gonna do pillows in your van and you're short on space, this is a really good idea that I'm super happy with. I get my pillows and they're functional.
Now for our gray water tank, we used one of these 7-gallon containers that you can get at Walmart, and we put a CPAP tubing onto the bottom of that so we don't have to move it out of place. So we just grab the tubing and we can drain our gray water in proper locations without having to lift the tank out of the van. So that's pretty convenient. Yeah, it's been a really good system. We've learned not to worry about getting everything perfect before you hit the road, because we're able to do a lot of our improvements along the way because you don't always know what you want.
Exactly. And if something's not working out, you can always change it on the road. We are an example of that for sure.
Yep. So the other thing is it seems overwhelming when you're building out a van at the start. We recommend you just start with one small project at a time and just start knocking those out, and don't worry about the overall picture.
Yeah, and if you can go to van life meetups where you can look at other vans that are already done, or just go out on the road and live in your van before it's built, you'll get some good ideas of what you might want.
Yep.
We did not do that, and
we wish we would have.
yeah, we wish we would have. So if you're new to our channel and this is the first video you've watched, we do have our original van tour, which I'll link up here. It might have a little bit more in-depth detail of some of the things that we did if you want to check that out. It's one of our first videos, so you really don't have to check that out.
No.
Also, our specialty is boondocking. We love to free camp in places just like this. So if you're looking for free camping ideas, check out our boondocking videos. And Dave does some really good van maintenance how-to videos, which we're hoping to do more of in the future.
And just from being on the road for 3 years, we have a lot of really great tips. So please feel free to ask any questions you want in the comments, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Yeah, and so thank you for watching. To our subscribers, thank you for subscribing. And to our patrons, thank you for keeping us on the road. And we will see you next video.
If you would like to support our channel, please consider becoming a patron. Or check out our new merchandise at advantureatatime.com. We also have stickers available in our website store. Thank you for watching.